The room was quiet, too quiet. Even for someone like Rihanna, a woman who had stood in front of millions, who had built empires, who had turned pain into power, this silence felt different. It was heavy. It was the kind of silence that comes right before your entire world shifts. She sat by the window, her fingers loosely wrapped around a cup of tea that had long gone cold. Outside, the city moved like nothing had changed. Cars passed. People laughed. Life continued. But inside that room, time had stopped. And then, the door opened. Slowly. Carefully. And there he was. A$AP Rocky. He didn't walk in with his usual confidence. No flashy energy. No teasing smile. No effortless charm that had once swept her off her feet. Tonight, he was different. Serious. Focused. Almost nervous. "Ri," he said softly. She didn't respond right away. She just looked at him. Deeply. Like she was searching his face for answers he hadn't even spoken yet. "You've been distant," she finally said, her voice calm, but fragile beneath the surface. "What's going on?" He took a step closer. Then another. Until he was standing right in front of her. "I needed to get everything ready first," he said quietly. Her heart skipped. Ready for what? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he reached into his coat. And pulled something out. A small envelope. Her breath caught. "What is that?" she whispered. "Just, trust me," he said. Her hands trembled slightly as she took it. Slowly, carefully, she opened it. And what she saw inside changed everything. Her eyes widened. Her lips parted. "No, no, this can't be real," she whispered. Tears began forming instantly. Because inside that envelope was something she never expected. A full plan. A blueprint. A future. A surprise so unbelievable, it didn't feel real. "I've been working on this for months," A$AP Rocky said, his voice shaking slightly now. Quietly. Behind the scenes. She looked up at him, tears already rolling down her cheeks. You did all this?" He nodded. "I wanted to give you something no one else could. Not jewelry. Not gifts. Not headlines." He paused. "I wanted to give you peace." Her body froze. Because those words hit deeper than anything else. Peace. Not fame. Not money. Not attention. Peace. Inside the envelope were documents, plans for something completely unexpected. A private retreat. Far from the noise. Far from the cameras. A place designed just for them. For their family. For their future. Hidden away from everything that had ever tried to pull them apart. "I bought the land months ago," he continued. "I built it quietly. No press. No leaks. Just, for us." She shook her head in disbelief. You built this?" "For you," he said. "For us." That's when it happened. The tears she had been holding back broke loose. Completely. Uncontrollably. Rihanna collapsed into his arms, sobbing. Not softly. Not gracefully. But deeply. Raw. From a place in her soul that had carried years of pressure, expectations, and silent battles. "I can't believe this," she cried into his chest. "I can't believe you did this for me." He held her tightly, his own eyes glistening now. "You've given everything to everyone else your whole life," he whispered. "I just wanted to give something back to you." Her tears didn't stop. They poured. Each one carrying a different emotion. Relief. Gratitude. Love. Shock. Healing. Because this wasn't just a surprise. It was understanding. It was someone finally seeing her, not the icon, not the brand, not the global superstar. But her. The woman behind it all. I didn't know how much I needed this, she whispered, her voice breaking. I know, he said softly. She pulled back slightly, looking into his eyes. Why didn't you tell me? He smiled faintly. Because I wanted you to feel it, not expect it. That hit her again. Hard. And the tears came even stronger. She laughed through her crying, a rare, beautiful mix of emotion that only happens when your heart is overwhelmed in the best way. You really did this, she said, shaking her head, still in disbelief. I did, he replied. And we leave tomorrow. Her eyes widened again. Tomorrow? He nodded. No schedules. No obligations. Just us. And that's when she broke down all over again. But this time. There was something different in her tears. Not pain. Not confusion. But joy. Pure, overwhelming joy. The kind that takes over your entire body. The kind that reminds you, you're safe. She buried her face into his chest once more, crying uncontrollably as she held onto him tighter than ever before. Thank you, she whispered over and over again. And in that moment, the world outside no longer mattered. No headlines. No rumors. No expectations. Just two people. In a quiet room. Holding on to something real. Something rare. Something powerful. Because sometimes, the most unbelievable surprise isn't about what you're given. It's about finally being understood. And for Rihanna, that was everything. The night had started like any other, but for Rihanna, something felt different. There was a quiet tension in the air, the kind that sits in your chest without explanation. The candles flickered softly in the dimly lit room, casting shadows that danced along the walls of their Los Angeles home. Music played low in the background, one of her favorite slow, soulful tracks, but even that couldn't calm the storm building inside her. Across the room stood A$AP Rocky. Calm. Focused. Watching her in a way that made her heart race without warning. Why are you looking at me like that? Rihanna asked, half smiling, trying to mask the sudden nervousness creeping in. Rocky didn't answer right away. Instead, he walked toward her slowly, each step deliberate, intentional. When he finally stopped in front of her, he took her hands gently in his. He started, his voice soft.